Hi guys and dolls. So today's video is a very targeted video for banishing those under eye circles. So a few times a day on YouTube and about a grillion times a day when I'm at work, women ask me, how do I get rid of my under eye circles? How do I cover up my under eye circles? I need an under eye concealer. What's the best under eye concealer for me? Something along those lines. And I totally get it. I get it. Women are not innately born knowing how to do these things, and we need advice, and sometimes we get a lot of different advices being thrown at us, and I'm just gonna throw in my peanut gallery 2 cents into the mix. One of the things that I've noticed from working at a makeup store is a lot of women really do need help with this subject. It's not something that's as easy as going, here's a good concealer, have fun with that. You really need to be taught the proper application, why you need a specific type of concealer, things like that. Now on my blog I'm actually going to cover different types of concealer, different colors, different coverages, ways you can actually get rid of your under eye issues, maybe even without concealer, because sometimes it's not even something you really need to conceal. It's a matter of getting enough sleep or completely removing your eye makeup and stuff like that. All that kind of stuff is going to be on the blog. I am not going to tell you guys what product I use in this, simply because this is more about like the actual application, whereas my blog post will be more about the information. So I hope you guys will enjoy this video and take something away from it. Even if you're an old pro and this is nothing new to you, refresher's never a bad thing. So without further ado, let's get started with the tutorial. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my eye cream on. I alternate between a few different eye creams. My eye cream of choice for the last several years for daytime use is the MAC Fast Response eye cream. It's just my favorite. And then at night I like to use, and this is relatively new, but I like the Evening Primrose eye cream from Korres. This one has a little bit of SPF in it, which doesn't really matter at night obviously, but it's a really good eye cream. It helps to optically brighten the skin a little bit. It's a little bit yellow toned, which is great for brightening the under eye. But it's not so yellow that if you have blue tones in your under eye circles that it's going to kind of make it have that greenish cast. And I'll have more on that kind of information on my blog. But anyway, it's a really good one, and it helps me a bit with puffiness, which was my original reason for wanting to get the MAC one. The MAC one kind of is more of like a band-aid, whereas this one has, all kinds of like antioxidants and stuff that you need in it. Anyway, moving on. So I'm just going to take some of that and tap that into the under eye area to make it all nice and smooth. If you're not doing eye cream, then you might as well pretty much just not even bother putting concealer on, because, well, that's kind of harsh, but eye cream really is going to make your under eye area smoother. It's going to ready it for the eye cream or the concealer, and it's going to make the concealer last all day. And I want to show you guys already that looks a little bit better, right? Okay, so same on the other side. And you'll notice I'm using my ring finger. It exerts the least amount of pressure. This is very thin skin. We don't want to rough it up by going in there and be like rah, 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 with our eye cream or any other products. So I'm just kind of tapping it in. And then you want to give it some time to fully absorb before you put the concealer on. Now typically I put on all my moisturizers and everything like that way before foundation, so I'm just going to stop filming for a minute and let it soak in. So I'll be back in a sec. You guys won't even notice the difference. Okay, so now that the eye cream is all soaked in and everything, I want to talk about the texture of the concealer that you're going to use. Basically, the main thing is the texture that you don't want to use. And a lot of people like cream style concealers like this, where it's kind of like a cream cake type thing. Or ones like this where it's like a little stick guy. Now, these are great concealers, and I'm not going to knock them. Obviously, I own them, so I like them. But these are better for correcting hyperpigmentation on the face, or blemishes, or uneven skin tone, and things like that. They're not really that great for the under eye. And again, I'll go into that on my blog a little bit more in depth, but long story short, the texture's just not right. They're just too thick, too creamy, they're going to go everywhere, creased, ugh. All the yucky stuff that you don't want to do, and ultimately it's not going to give you the effect that you want, which is to, diminish the appearance. Instead, it's going to draw attention to the under eye. So That's why I don't usually recommend those. Some people use them and they work for them. Great. If it doesn't work for you and you've been using stuff like that, try to switch it up to a liquid. That's all I'm saying. So the liquid that I'm going to use, I actually put in a little sample jar so you guys won't know what it is, because it doesn't necessarily matter the specific product, just the properties of the product. If you want to know specific products that I think are good for the under eye, I have a few of them listed on the blog post for this, which again has more information. Essentially, I picked a liquid concealer that is designed for the under eye, and it has a peach tone to it. Yeah. And it is designed for the under eye, has a nice clean finish, and it has medium coverage. It's not completely full coverage. And the reason why I don't want one that's like super full coverage, like for instance, this one from Cover FX is a really good concealer. It's good for the under eye as well as blemishes. This is one of the few multitasking concealers that I really like. However, the coverage on it is so like whoa that for me it's a bit too much, because I don't do completely full coverage foundation. So to have completely full coverage on the under eye would look kind of weird and masky, and you know, you've seen the people that do that and it's not cute. And for two, I don't need that much correction. I only have like a little bit of blueness like right here. So to do like super full coverage, you don't want more coverage than you need basically. But that's a whole nother subject that we can get into later. Anyway, I'm going to take a little bit of this. I'm going to scoop some out with my brush. Now if you had like the actual tube of it, you'd squeeze it out. I'm going to put that in the palm of my hand. I use the palm of my hand because it has less pores than this side, and also, you know, this side can get really dry from cleansing a lot and this side won't, and I don't know, I just prefer it. So get a little bit of that on my brush, and then I'm going to just place the product where I need the most correction. So just on the blue parts, or purple parts, or whatever you want to call it. So just place it there and then blend with your finger. Now I have a little bit of kind of like yellowy darkness there as well. So you see I place the product with my brush, and then I just kind of tappingly blend it with my finger. Do you see what a huge difference that makes? Oh, here's a concealer I want to kind of show you guys. I know a lot of women are tempted to take their concealer like all the way around here. The problem is you'll end up brightening this area and giving yourself that kind of like over concealered eye area look that we're not trying to achieve. So this is what you want to not do, is get a bunch of your concealer and just go just little tiny bit. And even this is a bit much. And then again, just right there. You just want, in fact, this is entirely way too much product. Okay, so before we get to the final steps of setting this, a lot of you ask, what can I do to even out the skin tone on my upper eyelid that won't crease? First of all, you actually can use your concealer on your upper eye as long as it's a crease-proof one. Most of the ones, I think, if not all of the ones that I actually suggest on my blog won't crease on the eyelid. However, I personally don't use concealer on my eyelid just because I know I'm going to be putting primer and eyeshadow on and all that good stuff, and it'll just be too cakey. Now, you can, if you want, find something like a MAC paint pot that has a lot of coverage in it, as well as, the primer function of not creasing on your eyelid and stuff, and it's a good eyeshadow base. I personally just use Urban Decay Primer Potion, and I want to show you guys, it doesn't completely even out my skin tone on my eyelid, but it does most of it. I'm gonna just put my eyeshadows on top so it's fine. But can you see the difference? Now, if you have a deeper skin tone, obviously this isn't gonna work. I also want to mention Urban Decay did come out with a yellow toned primer potion called Eden, and that one works better if you have more of like a golden undertone. Honestly, if you're just going to cover the whole thing in eyeshadow, it really doesn't matter what your skin tone is because you're just going to cover it all up anyway. So now for the final step, setting the concealer. A lot of people suggest against putting powder on the under eye, and I'm totally with them on that for the most part. You don't want to put a powder like this. This is a foundation powder. It has a lot of coverage. This can cover blemishes. This is from Cover FX. It's called Powder FX. Or, you know, MAC Studio Fix. I won't show you mine because it's really grimy and I need a new one. But you don't want to put anything with really any pigmentation. Nothing with that could be used to like even out your skin tone. That's totally going to be way too cakey for the under eye. You need something very, very lightweight. Two powders I really like for the under eye are the Makeup Forever HD powder. I've loved this one for years. This is the Laura Mercier Secret, what's it called? Secret Brightening Powder. This one has like little particles in it that actually optically brighten. Always fun for the under eye. I actually like to use this guy all over my face sometimes. And then for this particular application, I really like this brush from Sonia Kashuk. It's one of those like twirly handled ones. It was too big for my eyes and too small for my face, so it's perfect for this. So I just take what's in the cap, swirl it around, tap it off so there's not too much, and just kind of sweep. Just enough to set it without being powdery. Kind of blend it out. And there you go. Then you are all concealed and set and ready to go. I hope this under eye concealing or banishing dark circles video was helpful for you. I know a lot of you have been asking for it and I'm so happy to do it for you. Have a great day and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye!